Okay, so up until now, it's just been handling some very simplistic shaders, mostly glass-like shaders, flesh tone shaders, just matte eggshell type shaders. I'd like to get into complex shaders. Sometimes you may have shaders that have multiple colors. This particular photograph was taken by my friend Chris Smart. We went to school together. And he takes some really nice photographs. If you go to his gallery on www.cydonian.com, cydonian.com, he has some really nice photography that you should definitely go and check out. And you can just pick any of these, pick one of these photos and try, studying the material and painting it. These are great exercises because then you can try getting something that looks, well, realistic. So, fantastic website, fantastic guy, amazing photographer. I highly suggest you guys check his stuff out. But in this case, we have ourselves a very complex shader. This is tree bark with tree moss. And if you look very carefully, there's the tree bark, this bluish stuff underneath. There's the greenish tree moss. We've got some parts of the tree moss are alive, this dark green. Some parts are kind of dying or dried out, and some parts are just plain dead, which have turned brown. So you've got greens, you've got some yellowish browns, you've got some whites. So the only way to handle the complex shader is first let's just deal with the tree bark. The tree bark, which seems to have a predominance of blue in it. So I'm going to leave that blue for a second, but of course it also goes to black. So I'm going to make there, except that's probably a little too saturated. That's probably more like it. Okay, so that would be the tree bark. These are the colors, the predominant colors that you're going to find in this tree bark. Next up is the moss. I'm probably going to need two kinds. I'm going to need live moss, I'm going to need dead moss. So, same deal. Maybe three or so predominant colors is all I'm going to need. And just a bit of white that I'm just going to need. Okay, and some dead moss. Dead moss appearing to be more or less in the yellow-orange region of things. Probably around there, but then it also gets very saturated and quite dark. Almost, yeah, I'd say in that region. So start with black, take that, bring that forward, bring that up. So, bark, live moss, dead moss. Three shaders. Start with the stone. Gotta make ourselves we'll need a chunk of form to put this shader on. I'm going to go with a cylindrical shaped stone. Okay. Gotta light it. So lighting from the bottom. Like I said, guys, fuzz your eyes out. Defocus. Defocus your eyes. Don't mean defocus your mind, but defocus your eyes. Okay, now I need to put some moss on this, so I chose the darkest color, taking a lighter color and just putting the moss on. I'm going to paint around the perimeter of some of this moss. Paint the dead moss in. Okay, so I guess that's there. We've got some live moss, we've got some dead moss. Those are just the base tones. Now I have all these little squiggly bits of hairy stuff. So the way to do it is think of sticking pins. See, when they're close, they're like spots. The further out they get, the longer the pins get. Work on a pin system. That's what these are. You're going to have to draw every single one of these. So I'm going to start sticking, maybe I'll use a much thinner brush. So I'm going to do the pins that are sticking out at the edge first. And it is lit from the bottom. So I'm probably going to have to put some of these lighter colored pins. And then a layer of dark pins. And what else? Oh, right. Need some of that. Some of the dark pins of the other color. Back to a layer of light pins. Now I'm moving from outside to the inside. I'm going to be moving that direction and be changing the orientation of the pins as I get closer to the middle of this. The reason why I'm moving in this direction is because I'm going from far to near. The reason for that is because if I have something which is lit down there, I can put, if this is a really fat pin, you see that? How this piece is behind this piece, which is behind this piece? That is how it works. So I use bright ones, I set down a layer, then I use slightly darker ones, then I use, down here in the middle, they're probably going to be mostly spots. Although I should really stay where the base color is. Pull outwards. Here, yeah, you're just going to find a few spots. And it's going to be quite dark in these areas. The further out I go, you see the longer I have to pull it. So I'll be spotting, but then I'll have to pull further and further out when I'm out here, going back to spots when I'm on the inside. So this is one of the ways you have to work. I have to work from the outside in. I got to use a darker color than what I've got. And some of these occasional hairs I'm going to have to. I'm not even looking at that photograph anymore. I'm just looking at what it is I'm trying to paint. I need to bring this down. Get over here. Kano wins fatality. Right, gotta work outside to the inside. Sometimes I'll put down little rosettes, dots like that, and then a rosette, more dots, and another rosette. Okay, so that gives you the idea of there being an undulating surface, not just this one big cylinder underneath. Thing is, whenever something is very complex like this, you have to stay calm, try not to lose your head. Yes, you do have to draw each and every line, but you have to find the general trend behind each and every line. Otherwise, it's just going to become this terrible, terrible mess, which you don't want. So that's it.